People typically take us away from our goals and dreams. People, our relationships with people, our the people that are in our environment. Remember, we're the average of the five people that we spend the most time with. People that are addicted to the approval of others, people that struggle with their relationships, right? The people that influence their lives. These are people that typically don't get to the life that they want. It's people that hold them back. And so we have to work on these things. We have to actually be mindful of the people that take our energy, the people that give us energy, the places we choose to spend, the people we choose to spend time with. We have to be mindful of this stuff, y'all. Because again, if we're the people that are going off to design our ideal life, you want to get to that life you don't need a break from. You want life exactly where you want it. Health, wealth, love, happiness, all the things. People are going to be a huge part of that journey, and how you handle people, how you give people your energy or your time will matter. It'll determine the course of kind of where you're going. Couple reminders in there. Can't please everyone. That's not your job to please everyone that's around you, right? You have to continue to remove some distractions. And the more that you focus on other people's happiness, the more you are not focused on yours, on your goals, on your dreams. And again, we've justified it in our mind. Remember, a lot of this stuff is how you think. Some of this stuff might go against your beliefs. Why? Because you think that means you love them, or that means you're kind, or that means you're gracious, or that means you're going to be blessed, or whatever the belief system is as to the reason why you people please, you make sure everyone else is good and you don't take care of you. That's a belief. And so we have to attack the thought. How did we get that thought? What instilled in us to make us believe that we should put others, and again, there's a fine line. I get it. We're called to be servant leaders and right to serve others, but like when it's at your expense, that's not going to help you get to that life you don't need a break from. That's not going to help you design your ideal life. So these are things, remember, you can't save everyone. Lesson I've had to learn for a long time. You can't save everyone. Can't save people that don't want to be saved. Again, I've had to, being in leadership, being around like I've had to learn this lesson many different times, right? But it's just true. You can't save everybody. I used to use this analogy. I used to be a lifeguard back in the day, right? I used to be a lifeguard. And if you've ever been a lifeguard, one of the things they tell you is when you go after somebody, right, and they're drowning or right, like they're struggling in the water, you talk to them on the way to getting to them, right? You talk to them. If they are flailing and they are not responding via word, that means they're too out of control. And if you go to try to save them, they're going to drown they're going to sink. Like they won't have the consciousness because they're in this emotional, it's like basically survival place that if you can't speak to them and say, hey, I'm coming to save you. Hey, I need you to do this. Hey, calm down. I'm coming. And they aren't responding, they're going to latch onto your neck when you touch them, and they will drown you. If that's the case, literally in lifeguard class, they tell you push away from them until they calm down. That's life. When you start getting around people that like you're trying to save and you're constantly trying to save people, they will pull you down. Their thoughts, their attitude, their environment, like they will pull you down. You can't save everyone. I know we all have a big heart, but you just got to remember you can only save people that want to be saved, right? And so, again, these are important reminders. These are important reminders. Most people aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about what you're thinking about them, right? Most people are selfish in that way. They're not thinking about you. You're not their top priority. They're their top priority. So by them even you thinking that they're thinking about you, they're not. They're thinking about what you're thinking about them. So the fact that you are even thinking about that, like it, again, this is what takes us away from our goals and dreams. It's the small stuff. It's the stuff we like put up with when it comes to people and relationships and caring about other people's opinions. We can't do that if we want to get to our ideal life. We just can't do it. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your energy. Again, I know we all have loving hearts. I know we all have families and people that like are connected to us, but not everyone deserves your energy. It takes energy to go after your dreams. So if you allow people to take your energy, you will not go after your dreams. That's the way this goes, right? It takes it takes energy to go after the life you want. I help people through this process of like transitioning to get to the life they want. And normally at the beginning stages, we need to drum up some energy, some excitement, some movement. Like there needs to be a spark so we can start going. Well, if people are constantly taking that spark away from you because you're allowing it, because you're allowing to put yourself in that position, because you're scared to walk away, right? The next thing I had written down is caring too much can turn into fear. You care so much that now you have a fear of being rejected, a fear of abandonment, a fear of losing love. Like now you have fears in place, all because these people, you're giving them your energy, you're giving them all of what you have to really go off and get your life together, to get to your ideal life. But again, we justify it in our mind because we think we're doing the right thing. We think they need us. We care about that, right? It's not what gets you there, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes these are hard conversations because the people that you care about the most are the people that are probably holding you back from the life that you deserve. The people that you believe you want to be around or you are around are literally the people that are shaping how you think and are taking energy away from you being able to give energy to your goals and dreams. So it's okay to remove yourself. It's okay to say, hey, I need to distance myself. It's okay to cut that 45-minute phone call down to a 10-minute phone call of your negative friend, of your friend that's always struggling and always got something happening and always needs you to come save him or her, right? It's okay to go from an hour talking to them down to 10 minutes. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. Like that's how you protect your energy, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what you got to do. You got to have energy to go after your goals and dreams. That is important. There was two I could have used today, right? One talked about self-respect, right? Like it's important that you understand that by you controlling your relationships with others, you're actually showing your self-respect by you giving away all of your power and all of your energy and all of your time and all of your resources to other people, it actually shows a lack of self-respect. Like you don't necessarily respect you. Could have used that one. I chose to go with this one. Champions are not addicted to the approval of others. You can't be addicted to the approval of others and still want to get to the life that you deserve. At some point the approval of others doesn't matter. The approval of your family doesn't matter. The approval of your child doesn't matter. The approval of your parents doesn't matter. The approval of your spouse does not matter. These are tough conversations. These are tough conversations to have. But again, if you want to get to the life, you don't need a break. If this is what we're doing and we're getting there, you have to have a bit of this in you. You have to have this in you. It says here in the text, it says Bill Gove used to speak to audiences around the world about what he called the most debilitating addiction. Bill was convinced this addiction was worse than an addiction to drugs, booze, or sex. Bill called it the addiction to the approval of others. This addiction stems from believing I won't be loved or accepted unless others approve my behavior. Again, read that again. This addiction stems from believing I won't be loved or accepted unless others approve my behavior. I won't be a good parent if I don't do this. I won't be a good son if I do this. I'm not honoring my parent. Like there's a lot of beliefs. Remember, y'all, the thesis, if you change your thinking, you change your life, right? These are beliefs that are set in that we have to challenge if we want to change. You have to challenge your thinking in these areas. It says here, uh, uh, yeah, I won't be loved or accepted unless others approve my behavior. It's conformity at any cost. Amateurs operate from an outer frame of reference, which values the opinions of others above their own. This is why the middle class makes lousy leaders and even worse salespeople. Amateurs tend to live their lives in first gear, a fear of psychological abandonment. The aggregate cost to companies hiring salespeople and executive leaders could be substantially reduced if they would hire for consciousness rather than compliance. Southwest Airlines says they hire for attitude and train for skill. I'd like to upgrade that hire for consciousness and train for skills. Again, you have to identify this in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. How much do you care about others' approval to what you do, to who you are, to where you're going, to what your dreams are, to where you choose to spend time? How much are you paying attention to that external, that outer frame of reference? We've talked about this a bunch on these calls. As a reminder, remember, success is about the internal frame of reference. It's you against you. It's knowing what you can't control and knowing what you can control. There's only two things you can control: your actions and your attitude. That's it. Like you can control your attitude. Like I know you might not believe that, like you believe, like again, the person that cut you off in the car made you angry. No, you control your levels of anger. You control what triggers you. You can control that stuff. Most people don't, but you have that in your control. The only other thing you can control is what you choose to do, your actions. You are not being controlled by a puppet. Technically, you're trying to be controlled by tons of things. They are trying to control you. They're trying to control your mind. They're trying to control your habits. They're trying to. So if you've succumbed to that, sure, there's other people that are controlling. Amazon is controlling your shopping decisions. They absolutely are. By the amount of stuff that you see, they are controlling it. I was just having this conversation with my friend. He was talking about buying some truck, and then all of a sudden on his feed, you guys know how this goes. You see that truck over and over again, and it's getting him closer and closer to buying that truck, even though he doesn't need it. That's controlling his actions, right? It's an external thing. But just know all of these things are in your control. So when you have an internal frame of reference, when you are controlling your actions and your attitudes, the outside world does not get the same opportunity to control what you think, what you believe, what you're doing. But amateurs, like it says here, operate from that outer frame of reference. That what do other people think? That what do I have to do? Like, other things above their own. And that's what's got to change if you want to get to the life you don't need to break from. If you want to, again, design life exactly how you want it. You have a vision, you have a goal, you have a dream, you have something that's beyond where you are right now. That is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a vision, to be like, this is where I want to go. This is who I see myself as. This is the life I would like to live. Not just I want to lay on a beach, but literally, like, where do I want to contribute? What type of self-respect do I have? What type of network of people am I around? Are we people that lift each other up, or am I constantly around negativity and worry and doubt? Like, you have to have a vision for your life. And once you have that vision, you have to know that if it is to be, it's up to me. It's an internal frame of reference that allows you to then say, you know what? It doesn't really matter what that person thinks. God gave me this vision. They didn't give it to them. So I don't know how they have to be or why they think about life the way they think about it, but I know how I have to think about life. And I'm no longer addicted to that approval. It no longer bothers me if someone doesn't agree with what I'm doing or how I speak or my beliefs. None of that matters, right? We are to live peaceably with people, but what you think about me does not concern me. What you want me to do does not concern me. And we have to get to this because people are the right people. This is the thing that takes us away from where we're trying to go. I'm telling you, I've watched it happen. Sometimes it's the spouse, sometimes it's the mother, sometimes it's the child, sometimes it's the coworker. But somebody is planting a seed that's taking you away, and you value that opinion. We got to get better at valuing our own opinions, ladies and gentlemen. It says here in this quote, I am responsible to my employees, customers, and business associates to be honest, sincere, and to act with integrity, but I am not responsible for their attitudes or behavior towards me. I hope they like me. It's more pleasant that way, but if not, it's not my problem. That is the talk of a leader. I want people to like, I want them to know I have integrity, but it's not my responsibility for other people's attitudes and behaviors towards you. And I hope you understand that. Action step for today says on a scale from 1 to 7, 7 being highest, how high is your need to be approved and validated by other people? Next, ask your spouse or call your best friend and rate you on the same scale and then compare answers. You got to tap in with yourself, ladies and gentlemen, to know what's your need for approval like. And I'm going to challenge you all on this Monday to start paying attention to people less, right? Stop letting their opinions filter into where you're trying to go. Stop letting the external things around you control the internal. Let's go the other way. This is how we get to the life we don't need a break from. All right. I love you guys. I want you to win. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win, right? The people around you are counting on you to get this information. The fact that you're here on this call is not a coincidence, right? You're the person to take this information and now do something with it. Grab that seat, right? Grab what you just heard today and say, like, man, how can I, how can I do this, right? How can I get this in? There you go, LD. I dropped the link in there for you. But you just remember, y'all, it's going to take work. It's going to take work. Nothing's ever easy, but it's worth it. And you got to go to work on doing this stuff today. All right. Love you guys.